All right, guys, today we're going to talk about SNMP. And before we begin with the configuration and testing and troubleshooting and whatnot, let me tell you a couple of things about SNMP in the email security appliance. In the ESA, SNMP is off by default. And when SNMP is enabled, you will have SNMP v3 as the default version that is being used. Okay, apart from this, set operations of SNMP are not supported, they're not implemented, and Async OS supports all the three versions, v1, v2, and v3 as well. One very important thing to remember is that for SNMP v3, the username is v3get. You cannot use any other username. This has to be it, v3get. Whenever you're using an SNMP v3 and you want to use the username, this is the username that you're going to use, v3get, okay? Now, we're going to begin with the configuration. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so the command to configure SNMP is SNMP config. I don't think there's any other command that starts with SNM. So when you press the tab key, you'll see that it auto-completes to SNMP config. You hit enter, go to cluster mode, that's it. So I have configured SNMP many times, disabled it many times, so therefore I have all this configured already in here. So we're going to go through the steps one by one. So the first thing you got to do is go for setup, uppercase, lowercase, no problem. Okay, do you want to enable SNMP? Yes, that's the first question. You just hit enter because this is the default value. SNMP default version is v3, as I informed you before. Choose the IP interface for SNMP requests. I'm going to choose management. One is, I just have one anyways, right? So I'll just hit enter. So which port shall the SNMP daemon listen on? 161 by default. I want to change it. If I want, I can. I mean, that's completely my choice. So select SNMPv3 security level. If you go for no auth, no prev, it tells you what it means. Authentication is done using the SNMPv3 username, and no privacy is activated. And auth, but no prev, right? So authentication is done using the SNMPv3 authentication passphrase, and no privacy is activated. As you can see, no prev, right? And then you have auth prev. So both the options are available. Authentication is done using the SNMPv3 authentication passphrase, and privacy is activated using the SNMPv3 privacy passphrase. I'm going to go for the third one. It's the most secure one. 3 selected by default, so I just hit enter. Select SNMPv3 authentication type. I just have one available. SHA, I hit enter. And for privacy, so as we checked auth and priv, there are two options. First, it asks for auth, and then it asks for the privacy. I'm going to go for AES. That's the only one available. Enter the SNMPv3 authentication passphrase. So first, it's going to ask us for authentication and then privacy passphrase. Okay, and or press return to leave it unchanged. Completely your choice. I don't want to change it. Oh, or maybe I want to change it. Okay, I'm going to go for iron port -1. Let's say if it takes it, yes. So I'm going to go for iron port -1. Okay, now for privacy passphrase, you shouldn't keep it the same, but I'm going to keep it iron port -2 for privacy. Hit enter. And I'm going to say iron port -2, it's almost the same, right? So service SNMP v1 v2c requests, yes, that's what I've selected at the moment, and that's going to be the default action chosen if I just go ahead and hit enter, right? So I want to use v1 v2c as well, so if I don't mention why, that's fine. Y is selected by default, I hit enter. Also, one important thing to notice here is that it's asking you to enter the community string. Now, if you want to use SNMP v1 and v2, you have to set a community string. The community string does not default to public. It does not default to public, okay? Just remember that. I'm going to use our import. That's fine. I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget these passwords. But anyways, shall SNMP v2c requests be serviced from IPv4 addresses? Well, yes, of course. From which IPv4 networks shall SNMP v1 v2c requests be allowed? Well, I'm going to use 10 because that's what my laptop is in. This subnet, so therefore I'm going to go for it. If you want to go for multiple, you can do it like this. Okay, just to show you. Okay, it's going to be 1 1.1.1.1. You can do a /32. I believe you can do that. Yes, you can do a 2.2.2.0/24, for example. And then I'm going to keep 10.0.0.0. Sorry, 10.0.0.0/8, just to make sure my requests are again taken care of. Oh, the CIDR followed by this, the following IPv4 show this allowed. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not get that followed by a slash. What did I do? I didn't put a slash or something? Number representing the number of bits. Example /24. Oh, sorry. Okay, you see there's a mistake on the 2, right? So I'm just gonna copy the same thing. Okay, I'm gonna copy the same thing. Trust me, it's gonna work. Okay, I'm just gonna do a dot here, okay? That's it. Hit enter. Bingo, it works. That's what I was like, oh, what just happened? Okay, shall SNMP v2c request be serviced from IPv6? Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, just go for it. Select the version for SNMP traps. Okay, for the traps, I'm gonna go for SNMP v3 or 1. Completely my choice. You can go for, but you have to mention either one or either 1, which is v2c, or 2, which is SNMP version 3, right? SNMP version 3. If I want to do that, I hit 2. But again, 2 is selected by default, so I hit enter. Enter the trap target as the host name. So I really don't want to deal with traps right now. I'm just going to hit enter and enterprise trap status. So these are the ones that are enabled. You'll get the traps for these and whatever IP address. So here, okay. So the IP address that you mentioned here should be the IP address of your SNMP manager, which should be running for it to receive traps from your appliance, right? Do you want to change any of these settings? If I say yes, it'll give me an option to change it. I'll just go with no this time. Enter the system location. So this would be your server's location, not set, not yet configured. I don't want to do that. This is your administrator's email address, so contact string. I don't want to deal with that. I just hit enter, and that's literally it. Your SNMP has been configured, and you're good to go. But now we got to test it out as well, just to make sure we did it right, right? So we're going to run a couple of tests, and by the end of that, we're going to run a Wireshark capture as well. Okay, let's go for that. Oh, yes, and do not forget to commit the changes. So once you're done, hit commit. I've already done it, so it's going to tell me that there's no data to commit. In your case, you'll have to commit and then mention the comments as well that you've enabled SNMP v1, v2, v3, or whatever, right? So let's check out the MIB browser now. So just open up Google and search for MIB browser iReasoning. And yeah, this one. You can go for it. The first one, HTTPS www.iReasoning.com. Click on that, and you got all these options in here, right? So you have the first one, which is the free personal edition. You have the professional and the enterprise edition. Now you need to understand that this one is a 30-day trial edition, and this one as well. So if you go for any of these, it'll ask you to purchase it after 30 days. But when it comes to the first one, it won't ask you to purchase it or anything. You can use it for as long as you want, although you might not see the same functionalities and options that are available in these two. You might not be able to see those in this one, right? So just click on the download link right here. If you want to check these out, click on the download. Click on this button right here, Windows, or if you're using Mac OS, Linux, and so on. Completely your choice. All right. So once you click on download, it's going to download it, and yeah, let me show you how it looks. Okay, so once you complete the installation, this is how it's going to look. And as you can see, the name is iReasoning MIB Browser, right? And this is where you put the IP address of your ESA. In this case, it is 10.106.36.235. This is where you put the OID. I'm going to show you all that, not a problem. And this is where the operations are mentioned: get next, set, get bulk, and all that. And once you've mentioned all those things correctly, click on the go button. But before that, you have to make sure that this is also configured. So when you click on advanced, it's going to give you a bunch of options, including the address. It just mentions the address. I import the port for this, sorry. The port is 161 by default, as I had mentioned when I was showing you the configuration from the CLI. After that, we have the read community and the write community. In ESA, we don't have the option to write, so I don't need that really. And then it asks you which SNMP version do you want to use, 1, 2, or 3. We're going to go for 2 this time, and I'm going to say okay. And well, I don't remember the read community. I hope it's correct, so I'll just go for that. Now, I'm going to put in the OID and try to get it. Now, let's say you have a bunch of options in here, right? You have tried a couple of OIDs, and the results are right here. You want to clear this out, you can just click on this option right here, the second one, right? So if you click on it, it's going to clear the table. And I guess it says that as well in case I hover. Yeah, clear table. So you click on it and that's it. So let me grab an OID and show it to you. Okay, so I'm going to try this one. Let's see. Go. Okay, not good. Let's wait. Okay, the agent is down or not reachable. What has happened? So, what is the IP address on this box? Oh, I'm not able to reach my ESA. Is that it? Yep. Okay, some network issue, I believe. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah, it was kind of disconnected. It just took some time, and then it got resolved. And then I hit get again, and it's the same OID. Just click on go again, and it's able to fetch all this information, right? So, yep, it tells us basically about the disk space, this OID, the available, the used as well. So, yeah, bunch of information in here. You can check out this OID. I'm going to provide you a link for. I'm going to provide this OID to you in the description as well, and other OIDs as well. Well, I wanted to show you another thing as well. Take a look at this. So when you click on File on the top left corner of this iReasoning MIB browser, you have the option to load MIB. So if you have the MIB's file, it's going to be extremely easy for you to, use all these OIDs, get hold of all these OIDs. So you click on load MIBs, and you do it from here, right? You just select that file. So I use this one. I can just double click on it to load it. Once it's loaded, you're going to see it right here, as you can see in this case as well. So if I expand it, I'm going to use, for example, percent CPU utilization, double click on it. It says 45. Oh, I do have trust issues. So I'm going to do a status detail to confirm if it's 45 for real, right? And it is 45%. There you go. Isn't that great? Now you can use other things as well. Percent this, percent that. Memory availability status. Is it available? Oh yes, it is memory available. So you have other option as well. Percent memory utilization. 2% is the RAM, as you can see right here. Right, so it's working just fine. You have a ton of cool OIDs available in there that you can use, for example, in troubleshooting as well. Resource conservation reason. So what was the reason that your device went into RESCON? So double click on that. No resource conservation because it is not in the RESCON state right now, right? So yeah, these things are pretty damn powerful. So all of these are working on SNMPv2 at the moment, as you can see, right? And in this case, you got to make sure the community is correctly mentioned and the port number as well. All of this is working fine. You can look for the other OIDs as well that you want to run. Now, there's another cool thing available with this MIB browser that you can use. You can go to, for example, find a MIB tree. So you can click on that. It's just like doing a control F. And then you can use, for example, memory. I want to look for any word that matches this. Find next. Okay, percent memory utilization. Find next. Memory availability. Find next, and so on. So right, there's some cool feature available in this that's under edit, right? So you can check it out. I'm gonna put a link in the description for this for downloading this MIB browser as well. I'm gonna put a link for the MIB file as well, where you can download it from, and the OIDs as well. Yeah, I hope that helps. Let me go ahead and show you the. Let's go for Wireshark now. How about that? Right? Let's do it. Okay, let's begin with Wireshark. I'm going to start a capture, and basically I'm going to select Ethernet 5. In my case, I'm using 10 dot something, which is on Ethernet 5. Just double click on that. I'm actually going to stop it. I'm going to start it again. Continue without saving. Okay, no problem. Okay, I'm having a lot of traffic on it. I'm going for SNMP, right? So just select SNMP. Just mention SNMP here and hit enter. It's going to only go for SNMP packets now. It's going to show you only those packets, right? So how do we check it out? Let me open up the MIB browser again, and let me just double click on percent memory utilization 2. You see, okay, we got a request and we got a response. And percent CPU utilization, double click on that. We got a request and we got a response as well. Okay, I think we're good. We can just go through these couple of requests and see how it goes. So this is the request. You have the SNMP as a separate entity right here, separate part. The GET request is mentioned right here, and this is the OID value that you're actually sending across, right? This is the OID we're using in this case, and if we look at the response, which is the second one, well, in this case, we see that the value that we have received as a response is 2, right? Let me just highlight that real quick. If you take a look at this, you see it's 2, and you can see the value here as well. So this is 2 as the RAM utilization. You should be able to see the same with the second response as well, which was for the CPU utilization. It's 36%, and that's how you get it. But again, there's another thing that you should focus on. You see the version and the community string is directly mentioned. If anybody's sniffing the packets, uh, your data is gone, right? So always recommended to go for version 3 SNMP because that is secure. These are not, right? Yeah, pretty much it. Let's see if we can go through SNMPv3 or not because the video is already longer than expected. But anyways, let's see. Okay, for SNMPv3, all we need to do is go to advanced that I showed you right here, right? So this is the option we got to go for. I'm going to click on advanced, and as you can see, we have selected SNMPv2. I'm going to go for SNMPv3. And in this case, okay, okay, I had configured it before, v3 get auth priv, and we're using SHA as the auth algorithm. You can always confirm it from the CLI by running the SNMP config command. And these are 2 lines that you should be interested in. At this point in time, you see SHA for authentication and AES for encryption protocol. So if I click on it, you see SHA for authentication and AES for privacy algorithm. The password is ironport-1, and in this one I've kept ironport-2. I don't think there's anything else we need to configure for this, and that's pretty much it. So we don't need read community as well in this case, I believe, right? Because anyways, yeah, because as you see, it's grayed out. I cannot edit it, right? So if I try back click, back space, sorry. I keep mixing these words. Anyways, it's grayed out, right? So there's no need to worry about any of that. Everything else looks good. I click on OK. You don't have to change anything. The IP address remains the same. The OID remains the same. The operation remains the same. I click on Go, and it says 60%. Now, is it telling me the truth? Okay, lie detector test. Okay, okay. You are not a liar, sir. 37%. Well, okay, let me run it again. 37%. Yes, okay, there you go. Okay, it's good, it's good. We're good. Now I'm gonna show you the same in Wireshark as well. Let me just bring it down here a little bit. Okay, so you should always modify the window according to whatever you know prefer, whatever. So let me go for Wireshark again. I also wanted to let you know that when I run SNMP like this, it doesn't mean that it's gonna save packets or you know filter packets only for SNMP, but it's just gonna filter the output, right? So just make sure SNMP is running and the capture. Okay, the capture. I got to start the capture. Continue without saving. Okay, SNMP is the filter for the output, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run go, 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 go. Okay, and resource conservation reason, memory availability, percent. I'll run all of this. Okay, 50% to 0, and so on. Now, that's not the point. The point is that you can go ahead and check these out. You have a GET request, and you have a report encrypted. You see the difference with the SNMP v1, v2? You don't see it like this, right? You see GET request, and then you see a response to that, and that's pretty much it. So when you take a look at a packet of when it comes to SNMPv3, you'll see a bunch of information in here. You'll see, for example, SNMPv3 mentioned here. You should see the username as well. You see the GET request, and okay, there's a lot of information in here. So auth engine ID missing 00, missing 0, and if not here, so this corresponds to this one, and if you check it here, it says v3 get right here, right? V3 get is the username, and you have the message ID, message max size. So there's a bunch of information if you want to go for it. Talks about the RFC as well. Well, that's good. Okay, so yeah, you can try it out, go through the information. I'm not gonna make it a tutorial on SNMP directly, but yeah, you understand the thing, right? So yeah, this is how you do it. You can run a Wireshark capture. Now let me just quickly talk about the logs as well. So let me just do that. Okay. Okay, when it comes to logs, you can name them whatever you want. In my case, I've named them as SNMP underscore logs, as you can see right here, right? So when it comes to these logs, you can just, you know, tail them or grab the SNMP underscore logs. So dot here means like a blank, just like it would be equivalent to this, right? Equivalent to blank search. So yeah, just hit enter, and this is all I have in my SNMP logs. In case there are any application faults or anything, or any other information related to SNMP, you should see it right here in these logs, SNMP logs. You can name them whatever you want, but this is what I have chosen in my case. Okay. Now, also wanted to give you some extra information at the end that if you are a cloud customer, if you have a CES infrastructure, then you're not permitted to monitor your appliance directly using SNMP. Okay, so the incoming connections over port 161, it is restricted, right? So yeah, just wanted to let you know that, and pretty much it. Well, I hope I did not miss out on anything important. Thank you so much for your time, and if you're new to the channels, kindly subscribe and like the video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and you guys have a great day ahead. Thank you. Goodbye.